Whoa now, what's that? This is the maniacal menace Cosman speaking from the future about the past and the present. Check on your strong friends. Check on your friends, man. Say hey, say bye, call them up, hit them up. See how everybody doing. It's a crazy time out there. If you miss somebody, say hey. No neglect. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Listen up and enjoy these words. You can follow me at Maniacal Menace on Instagram on maniacalmenace.com. That's MANIACALMENACE. I think it's time to blow this scene. Get everybody in the stuff together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
There it is. All right. And huh?
Is he registered?
Yeah, right. Yeah, it shouldn't be a big deal.
Is that what your
But
podcast is about? Just
it's Tell Me a Joke. It's called Tell Me a Joke, the guideline of chasing the dream. Basically, there are no jokes told, just real life stories that might happen to be silly or depressing, depending on how it goes. And basically, it's just a guideline for people that are dream chasers out there, people that are actually looking to into a craft that they want to do, and if they don't want to work anymore and they want to just pursue their whatever they think they can make them money and be prosperous from. Basically, this is me going out talking to my friends that are actually doing so. So the guideline of chasing the dream, and everything that I take in from other people is kind of like little tidbits of a guideline, since there is no fucking rule book on how to do this and how to become successful from it. You can watch other people do it, but that's their life. It's not yours. So, and tell me a joke. Something as a comic that we all hate to hear. And it's just terrible. So to have it as an oxymoron to say tell me a joke, and we don't really tell jokes at all on here besides whatever comes about during normal conversation.
That's the joke.
Yeah, there you go. So what's up, god damn it, welcome back to another edition of Tell Me a Joke, the guideline of chasing the dream. I'm your host of Maniacal Menace, and next to me I have the you remind me of a roadie type rocker type guy that's just having to shoo women away, as you walk with your guitar case in your guitar.
I don't know about
Toby O'Brien, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
How's it been, man?
It's been good, man. Yeah, we've been doing a lot of stuff in the studio lately. Trying to get my acoustic demo album done.
Yeah, will this be your first one?
This will be my first strictly solo thing. I had a project that I was working on back in college, when I was in a band in college, and then out of college I was with my then girlfriend. We had a little side group called Eastern Grey, which is a lot of I wrote the songs, and then she was an amazing violinist, still is amazing.
Yeah.
And piano player and singer, so she helped me out with that. But this will be my first solo kind of endeavor.
Is it so what is your instrument of choice? Is guitar?
Yeah, instrument of choice is guitar. I play electric too, but mainly for the solo stuff I found that the acoustic was kind of where I was at.
Kind of your thing.
I've written a lot of songs that I think sound better if it has a full band, but yeah, mainly just at the moment just doing the solo stuff.
Well, that's awesome. But how long have you been playing music for?
I got a guitar when I was 12 years old because I wanted girls to talk to me in middle school.
Ah, there you go.
Because from everything that I'd seen on television, it seemed to work, but the tragedy was I went to Catholic school and I was 12. And so I got a guitar and I was bragging about it. I was like, yeah, I got a guitar. I got a guitar for Christmas.
And so was that your growing up? Were you always pursuing to be some type of musician? Was that your thing? Like, how was your upbringing?
Well, my upbringing, so my mom taught at the Catholic school that I went to, and I went there from 1st grade to 12th grade, and we're not Catholic.
Oh, shit.
So I just had to, like, get graded.
That's
I just got,
terrible.
like, grades and guilt and everything
Yeah.
else that goes with Catholic school.
Yep.
But at first I was, like, kind of, like, into sports. I remember in, like, 6th grade, because everybody else was trying out for football, I wanted to play football, too.
Mm-hmm.
And I played that until I was about in, like, 9th grade. And I stopped playing football because I was clearly the biggest and the strongest, and I wanted the other kids to have a chance.
Catholic and you're
Yeah,
not.
I wanted the other kids to have a chance.
You
to
eat
be
meat on
good.
Fridays. They
Just
give
kidding.
it up for Lent.
Everybody else grew up, and I was still a small boy for a long time. And in 7th grade, I was in a play. I was in Wizard of Oz. My mom was the director of the plays at school.
Seems like she was very hands-on.
I was a flying monkey, and I guess all the like the hyper energy that I was feeling, I think that was more my speed. So I hung up my cleats and I traded it for the stage, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So I started doing plays in high school, and around the same time I got a guitar. So I was like, oh yeah, I'll be either like a movie star or a rock star, because that's gonna make my parents feel at ease. Yeah. And I don't know. Then I started writing songs after I was like, oh well, I have to learn how to play the guitar if any girl is going to talk to me. Can't just say I have one. So I started writing songs, and I started listening to, like, I mean, a lot of the same music I still listen to now. Like bands like Modest Mouse are huge in the influence of where my songwriting was going. It's just I didn't have, like, any sort of life experiences to go off. I was, 13. But those kind of grew into more and more things as my music taste expanded too, and then I started getting more practice under my belt and started playing, like, more live shows when I was in, like, 9th grade. And then I've just been playing whatever gigs I can since then.
Did you take lessons, or did you just, like, teach yourself?
So in 7th grade I took I took 2 weeks of lessons from this guy that worked at, like, this music store. And
2 weeks?
Yeah, 2 weeks of lessons. It was like, and by 2 weeks, I mean, it was like once a week.
Ugh.
So I went twice.
So you went twice.
And, like, the best thing he did was he printed out, like, a chord diagram for me. And he taught me that I have to press the strings into the guitar to make the sound happen.
Right.
I didn't even know that. And then he was like, he whipped out, like, Wonderwall. And I was like, all right.
My Wonderwall.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, I learned it.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm gonna kind of focus on my own with this right now.
Oh, so from then on, you were just like, fuck it, I got it.
Yeah, I basically taught myself.
Jesus.
But he helped me out with the basic chord patterns. And stuff.
Now is that just like playing every day, or? That
was kind of, especially like in high school where, you know, I had like a lot of pent up angst and all sorts of other things. And I think the guitar was a big saving grace and, like, letting me get frustration out. And channeling it into a creative way rather than channeling it into any other way that other kids were doing at the time. I guess. Because they were, like, playing football, and it's like, oh, I get to hit people today, and I didn't do that. So
I'm different. Let me do it this way. Yeah, I've recently gotten a bass, but I don't think I really
Electric?
need. I really need to actually have some type of structure. Like, teaching myself is fine, but I don't feel as if I'm getting anywhere because it's just like me in the room, and I'm like, all right, you know, I can't really see the progression unless somebody is there to be like, hey, now you've gotten better. It seems like I need some type of justification from someone.
I think it's also harder to teach yourself once you get into an older age, because I think the difference between, like, teaching yourself guitar when you're like 13 is that
You don't have much else to think about.
You don't have much else to think about other than just that. And you don't have to necessarily like put yourself off because you're not good at it immediately, which is something that I feel now if I try to learn something new.
Yeah.
Like if trying to teach myself piano, I'm just like, this is frustrating.
Yeah.
I want to see what's in the fridge.
That's exactly what it is. It's like, God damn it, I can't play like this shit.
And then I beat myself up over it. And it's like, that's also keeping me from being in front of the thing I want to practice, is that I'm just like, constantly at war with whether or not it's worth it.
Right.
It's like, of course it's worth it. Stop making up excuses. But you're old now, and
you get, and there's more excuses. You're good at excuses now. The older you get,
the decision to not do something is so much better than the decision to do something.
It's like justification. I'm gratified now that I didn't do this. Like it would have been difficult, boy. But if I would have started a long time ago, at least I would be somewhere. And it's like, fuck it, I got other things to think about.
Right.
It's easy just to put it aside when you get older now. And that's like, to keep on going. What makes you keep doing this?
I don't know. I think this is like, it's one of those weird things where I feel really comfortable on stage.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like where I like come alive the most, I suppose.
Right.
And I think that's like, I think that you can probably attest to that as well as a comedian and performer.
Mm-hmm.
Is that we have, at least in our minds, that are the way of like captivating an audience to share with them the thing that we love to do the most.
Yeah.
And that's why like I love playing live shows, and I'm constantly like on edge about like playing in like a recording studio when I don't have an audience.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because then it's just me focusing on myself, and it's not that I'm focused on the audience. It's like, this is the moment where I get to share something that means the most to me. And to see them respond positively.
I like that reaction.
The best.
Yeah,
the best
the reaction is
world.
the best.
And I think, because I also went to school. I went to college to be an actor. So I felt that on the other side of like doing plays, and like I was really big into Shakespeare. And like really edgy sort of.
You fit that persona.
As edgy as plays can.
You so fit that persona still.
There's this play that we did in college called Suburbia, which is just about like a bunch of like out of high school like hooligans that hang outside of a 7-Eleven. And I'm like, I did that. You're going to play about me.
Yes.
And it's always kind of cool to see that. And then at the same time in college, there was also like the musical theater kids. And like what they could do is so much more, I would say like impressive in the way of like how like, how much goes into doing a musical theater piece, like dancing and singing and everything else. I think that I found it campy, which was one of the reasons I kind of hindered myself from doing it, which I kind of live now to sort of regret. So I think that art and plays and music and everything else, like sure, like it can come from like a place of pain.
Yeah.
And it's good art when it does.
Right.
But like, shit, it's also supposed to be for fun too.
Yeah.
And if you're just gonna keep taking on like these like roles where it's like, no, I'm like a wife abuser or something like that, and you have to play this character, and you just like end up like, oh, I feel terrible about myself afterwards. You're just
I was always wondering that. You have to get into that
it's
mode.
Like they just did Hello Dolly and they're all smiling and stuff. I didn't get that musical at all, but they were having a great time.
Yeah.
And they still did something incredible.
It's so wild. My ex, she was in musicals and stuff like that, and she did hair and everything, and it, like, I've seen how it changed that group of people that she was with as she was doing that. Like, it changed them completely. Like, because they're all young still, so just to see that world from that point of view, and then actually having to act it out and go through it like that, like you see how it changed certain people, and certain people it stuck with them, but my ex, she was just like, what's going on? I'm like, man, this is life right here. Like, she was so sheltered and so coddled by her parents that she never really ventured off into into actual life, like how you can be just free. Like I'm like, you're an adult now. You can do what you want. You know, you can like once you get to this point, like, if you feel like going somewhere, if you got the money to do it, you can go do it. Ain't nobody can stop you.
Right.
And it's like the floaters are off. Like you can go swim freely now. And like she didn't it finally dawned on her at that point in time that she was free, and like she started to cry. I was like, oh no, don't cry. But this is
live with this moment. Though.
Yes,
Yeah.
this is good. I'm glad that you feel that. Now that you can feel free, you can be who you want to be.
Exactly.
And yeah, most people don't understand like that's a part of life, actually being you, like not
Right.
having to be other people on stage or however you perceive people should be. Like, yeah, what you see on social media, that's that life. Don't worry about that. Be your own self. Be your own person. And like most people don't realize that they can be themselves.
I completely agree. I was thinking about that the other day. That there's like a lot of like actor friends of mine that'll be like only thinking about like what their next role is gonna be. And like constantly beating themselves up if they don't like get it. It's like I get the idea of like just living to perform and stuff like that, but if you're gonna be like an artist, like a really well-rounded one, I think you also have to be like a pretty well-rounded individual as a person. Without that, like how are you gonna play certain roles if you've never been a person before?
Right.
You've only been what the script is telling you to be or anything else. I think that going through your own personal experiences that have nothing to do with music or acting or anything, that's what really is going to shape us.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be remembered for a song that I wrote. I want to be remembered for who I was.
Yes.
Who happened to also write that song.
Right,
Or something,
exactly.
You know what I mean? I think the challenge a lot with that is that they get so comfortable with that sort of like structured professional lifestyle that eventually they'll end up, I mean hopefully not, but some end up just resenting the whole thing entirely.
Oh,
and then they'll
God.
quit. Then they'll just quit the game.
It feels like
I think
all the
for
work
me
that
that's
you've
one of
done
the
was
reasons
for nothing.
that I've stuck with this for so long is that I've given myself plenty of opportunities to have other jobs, experience other places, live in different places.
Definitely gotta live your life just to be who you want to be in life. You gotta live it. You gotta actually go out there and be that person that you feel you are, because
it's like if you shelter yourself from heartbreak for like your whole life, it just means that when it does finally happen, it really is gonna beat
hurt
the
like a
shit
motherfucker.
out of you.
It is gonna hurt like a motherfucker.
It's gonna just kick your ass.
Yeah, and that's always fun to
luckily
see somebody that hasn't been through it.
I was like no stranger to misery for like I was like again I went to Catholic school, but like I was able to like reason with it and anything else and I guess channel that into what makes my art and my music still pursuable.
Yeah,
is that I'm constantly having new life experiences.
Yes,
and like even getting caught up in like the monotony of a day job and everything else. Like these are still the things that shape us. It's who we are and what we want to do is not always going to meet up at the same time.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But
it gives you something to
but
talk
when
about.
It does. It's awesome.
It is beautiful. Like if I haven't been to places that I've been to, I probably wouldn't have the jokes that I have to tell. Like so, like living life actually helps with the craft that you're trying to pursue.
Exactly.
That's where inspiration comes from. And I've gotten the places that I've been. Yeah, it'd be nice. I've always thought, because some people, they just want to stay here in the city, which is good, which is cool. But I'm one of those adventurous people. I need to see. I need to see what the fuck else is out there. I want to see what's over the wall.
Like, I had to do it too.
Yeah,
I couldn't stay in Virginia.
Right.
Like, I lived in New York, and then I worked at a Renaissance fair in Pennsylvania.
Come on.
Yeah, man. All right. So I played a pirate at a Renaissance fair, and which doesn't like make a whole lot of sense as far as like what we think of like the timeline of like what kind of pirates we'd expect them to be.
Yeah.
Because it was our Renaissance Fair was set in like 1513 or something like that. And what we know of like pirates from Pirates of the Caribbean, that was until like the early 1700s.
Right.
So we were just a bunch of weird furry dudes that sang like sea shanties, told sex jokes, and did improv comedy.
Oh,
and
that sounds
we were
fun.
we were like a music comedy group, and it was honestly the greatest fucking job I ever had.
That sounds like a very good time.
And like my girlfriend, at the time she got the job as like the female counterpart, which was like the mermaids.
Yeah.
So we'd have like a joint like pub show and just sing like really raunchy songs. That all these people, and like this is in Pennsylvania and like Amish country.
Seems like the place.
So
to
we
have
had
it.
like some of the like most bizarre like regulars like on weekends like come to our shows, and they like dressed as like, you know, their costumes almost put ours to shame.
Yeah.
But they were just patrons.
Oh, they were just ready. They were just like, oh, they
were just like,
like
oh
pirates.
shit, it's Ren Fair season. They can like
Is that what
just
it's called?
dust off the coats and the hats and all that. And,
Oh, that sounds like a good goddamn
it was
time.
just, and like they served a lot of alcohol at the Renaissance Fair too. So it's just this bunch of drunk pirate people walking around and like cosplayers and anything else. And we were paid to do what we were doing.
Right.
So it was really kind of a cool little connection, because when I was like in New York before that, you know, it would just be like regular people going to see a play.
Yeah.
And anything else. These Pennsylvania folks, they were avid participants.
Is that where you're from? Are you born?
No, I was born and raised in a suburb outside Richmond, Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
And I until I was like 18, then I went to college at Shenandoah Conservatory in Winchester.
Wow.
Yeah, Shenandoah. It's about like an hour outside D.C.
Mm-hmm.
And then after I graduated college, I moved to Brooklyn, and I tried to be an actor and musician there. And I tried signing up for this open mic.
The Journey.
The Journey. And a lot of it was just because I was super into Bob Dylan at the time. I still like Bob Dylan a lot, but like, especially like his like freewheeling days where he was like trying to do like the folk revival thing in New York in the early 60s. And I was like walking around like Greenwich Village in like a tweed blazer and my guitar on my back and not doing anything with it. I'm just like, look at me looking the part.
I imagine you, that's how, man. If I were to draw a picture of you, you would be
just
that guy trying to walk to the top of the mountain.
I was like, just look at how artistic I look.
Yeah, very much so.
I tried to do like an open mic, and I had to get there like an hour and a half early just to like sign up for it.
Oh Jesus!
And I was like, ugh, this is weird. And then I did a play in Manhattan, and I was like, I did it. I acted on a stage in New York City.
Boom.
It wasn't a very big stage.
Uh-huh.
It was actually basically someone's glorified like attic that they made into a space, but it was cool. And then I was actually kind of pressured into auditioning for the Renaissance Fair, which I'm really thankful for. And
did you do pirate stuff in the Renaissance?
Yeah. So my character was like this like first mate of this ship that we had to explain how we got into a landlocked place like Pennsylvania. And we came up with different answers each time, but we were basically like pirates that, you know, we're wearing like curtains that they made into like tunics and vests and stuff. And I played the guitar, and we like learned a whole bunch of like seafaring songs and shit. And I had to grow out my beard. My beard grows in really red and really gross. And yeah, I remember like seeing myself in like pictures when I wasn't in my like Renaissance Fair garb, and I was just like, you know, just hanging out with this gross beard, and I was like, oh, this is not the best I've looked. But I was having a good time. Yeah. Me and my friend Patrick, we got really into chopping wood too.
Really good at chopping wood. What
there's like this. So we had like our like space that we stayed in. It was behind the Renaissance Fair, and there's like these they were like these stables basically that they made into a college dorm room type building. Really? It was cool. It was really cool. And they had like a little common room with like a television, and outside we had like a burn pile. And like benches and stuff like that around a little like field that we set up like a badminton net in, and a little like stand where we like throw tomahawks and throwing knives, because some of these cats like had worked at the Renaissance Fair for a while, so they like started becoming their characters like
do
even
some Renaissance
outside.
shit.
So we got like we like practice with like bows and arrows in our spare time and shit like that.
That's
so
fun.
it was
as
fun,
fuck.
man. It was a lot of fun, and we would go up to this burn pile, load up my car with it, and bring it back down, and we'd just chop wood for like an hour and a
Good
half,
times.
and then we'd build a fire and
Work
have
on the
music
lats.
around it like almost every night.
Yeah.
And that was really kind of like a really marvelous job. The only thing about it was that I got
And then
paid
it was a
$250 a week.
Oh.
That's not a whole lot of money.
No.
So like all of our money went to like groceries.
Oh,
but
Jesus.
luckily we got to live there for free and
Yeah.
do all these other.
You
cool
got to
stuff.
chop wood.
I got like so into it that I was like, maybe I'll give up on acting altogether and become
just-
a lumberjack.
Yeah. That's what you.
But I was like, I know
That's a hard life.
there's no more money in that. I
That
think
is a
what I
hard
wanted mostly was just to be like in the woods and chopping down trees. I gave up on that pretty quick.
Yeah, you got to worry about bears and other shit. You got to really start to hunt.
Yeah, but think about how
Have you
many
ever hunted?
no, I've never like been hunting. My dad took me like groundhog hunting
Really?
with
With a little 22 or something like
a
that?
little 22.
That sounds
and he had
amazing.
like my dad he likes guns. I don't really care. And but we never like went like I was like, Dad, why don't you hunt deer? And everything else, he's like, I don't like venison, so he doesn't hunt. I was like, that's a good excuse.
That is a very good excuse.
Because I don't really care for that lifestyle personally.
But he preferred groundhog.
But like it was because like he was like one of his like clients or colleagues or something. He had like this like ranch in Virginia that he was like, no, they're like a pest, and we
Oh,
need
you
to
just
like
get
do
rid
this
of
to
the
like tend
nuisance.
to the field. And here's a fun way to do it.
This is that's
And
very
like
fun.
it wasn't really my
Popping
speed,
off
but I was like, yeah,
groundhogs.
I'll hang out with my dad. Shoot little animals and I mean, it was really funny. Like my dad is, he's a real estate and business lawyer in Virginia, but he's
Okay.
also like a 4th degree black belt in Aikido,
Oh.
and he has like a ton of
Oh,
other hobbies.
goddamn.
He's like restoring old cars. He has like a woodworking shop in like the upstairs of his garage. That he
Yeah.
like makes like handmade tools and stuff, kind of like Ron Swanson from Parks and Recreation.
Okay.
You can kind of imagine him kind of like that. And I was taking my friend Steven on one of the groundhog hunting excursions, and we didn't see any until my friend Steven saw when we were driving around in this field. My dad pulled out a clock,
Oh my God.
and he did a drive-by on a groundhog.
Really?
I'm not even kidding.
He just shot.
He shot it
Did he
while
pick
he
it up
was in
afterwards?
a moving car. No, he just leave him there. I felt bad about the whole thing, but there was it was kind of like a nice little bonding experience with my dad.
That does sound fun. What,
And I was like 16 or 17 when we were doing it, so it was a
your
pretty good
dad
age
was
for it.
basically like a cool Steven Seagal.
Yeah, I would say so. I think my dad's almost a better actor than Steven Seagal is, though, even though he's never done anything like it.
Have you ever eaten groundhog?
No.
No.
Have you?
No.
No, we just kind of shot him. We're like, all right, we got like 4. I hope that helps, and then we'd go home. But it was kind of cool. He had like this like really neat little like cabin. The guy that we'd stay at this place, and like they went like they had like these other people that were staying there that like shot a whole bunch of pheasants.
Really?
So they're like, hey, we brought a whole bunch of pheasants. Do you and your boys want some?
Pheasants.
I was like, yeah, I'll eat them.
I've had pheasant before.
Pheasant,
I've had
yeah.
Pheasant and rabbit, and those are delicious. But my dad, he used to take us. We used to go on vacations a lot, and one of the vacations that we went on a cruise, the dolphin cruise, and this is the first time I was on a cruise before, and I was very young, but he got escargot. And I was like, oh wow. He always likes to try new shit.
Yeah.
He always likes to try different things, and I don't mind. Like that, I'm like this now. I don't mind trying new and different shit. But back then, I didn't give a fuck for escargot. I didn't know that. At that time. But I was just like, oh, Dad, I want to try one. And, it was just fucking the snails with the shells and everything.
Yeah,
You just take them out and pop them in. And I was like, all right. And he gave me one.
They're not bad.
Oh my god, I was just like, oh, I didn't like. As soon as I put it in my mouth, I was like, I don't like any of this. I spit it right back out on the plate. He got very upset.
Oh,
because
it's a delicacy.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't want to see that on the plate.
I was like, this is gross. How are you eating this?
Like, you know how much money that costs?
But I have eaten some weird shit. I've eaten like octopus tentacles and shit.
Oh yeah.
I've been to certain sushi places.
I ate crickets.
Oh yeah, how's that?
It was at this like Mexican restaurant, and yeah, they had like all these like salsas, chips, and then like fried crickets, and I had a whole bunch of them. They were not bad. They're really salty. It was basically like eating like a weird chip.
A weird just like crunchy chip. So it just kind of
like chip. It was bizarre.
Huh. Yeah, I haven't eaten too many weird shit, but
can you imagine like the person who first decided that snails could be something that we could eat?
Just somebody that was real
it's like
hungry.
You know, like steak had already been discovered. And like, what else can we do?
A motherfucker
see that little
really
really
hungry. Really hungry. I think that's what it is.
Well, it's like, how do you like bring that? Like, I guess it was in France. It's like the guy's like, "Hey, just hear me out. It's not bad.
It's legit.
But I've been eating these snails." Like that must have been a weird pitch.
That's gotta be gross. It's especially how you gonna cook them and shit.
Yeah. It was like, oh, you could cook these? They're just eating them raw.
Well, I've realized that hazelnut is just them little acorns, the little weird mushed up little acorns, like a little fat faced acorn. Yeah, that's you find all them all over the ground and shit.
Oh yeah.
It's like, well, how the fuck do you? So you could just be, can we just eat regular acorns like that? I've always thought about it, but I
tried to eat an acorn.
I had a weird friend that fucking tried to eat an acorn. He'd just peel it open and eat it. Yeah. I was like, that's gross, dude. I don't know if you're supposed to eat that like that. It's like squirrels do it, and I'm like, you're not a squirrel.
Yeah, but you're not a squirrel.
You're not a squirrel at all.
I hate that we have to keep having this conversation.
Yeah. When you play music, do you prefer, like, especially do you go to open mics often?
I did more when I first moved here. I haven't been to like an open mic in a while. Now that I like have like a decent amount of friends here that have shows and stuff like that, I can either like kind of like hitch a ride onto or something.
Right.
Like,
well, nice.
And of course I play at Redux a lot because Johnny and Russ are the coolest.
When you do play, do you prefer to play any covers, or you prefer to play your own music?
I'll whip out like 2 to 3 covers depending how long my set is.
Yeah.
But mostly I just do original stuff. I've been writing for a long time, so I have enough songs that I like feel are squeezed out enough to be good to perform. A lot of it's like, you know, I'll have the songs that I really like to play.
Yeah. That
I've written. And then there's other ones I just kind of like remembered, and I was like, well, maybe somebody else would want to hear it.
Right.
And kind of almost get their opinion on it, because the solo shows are so intimate and everything else. So. But yeah, it's mainly just solo stuff and original stuff.
Huh. Dude, whenever you do play, do you like what type of music would you consider your music as being?
I guess it's sort of like the indie folk rock kind of, you know, subsection. I would kind of compare it to like Modest Mouse and bands like Bright Eyes, and it's very lyric heavy, I think, a lot of the time, because I'm mainly just doing like rhythm guitar. I don't have like a whole lot of prowess and like doing like crazy like all over the fretboard stuff, and I come up with more like interesting and aggressive like rhythm patterns and like bends and stuff like that that, you know, I guess kind of speak for themselves a little bit, but it's like it's kind of like mixing more like poetry with you know, music. I guess what's the definition of a song is. But I don't know. It gets aggressive. It's like sad white boy music that I sing cheerfully. You know. It's basically it.
Yeah, you have a very
luckily it's like there's a good crowd for it. Like
definitely. There's always something for people down here.
A lot of sad white people like my
music. Yeah, it is. Man, the show that we did, Smile
Through the Sadness.
Smile Through the Sadness.
Great show.
With
great turnout.
With Toby and Kyle.
Good.
Man, that was a good
great
goddamn
night.
time.
I still think about that. We're gonna do that again.
Yeah, that was fucking fun. Just music and poetry combined together in just a form that you probably won't see everywhere. That was a really good time.
That was a lot of fun because like it was cool where you did like some of your more like gripping serious poetry with it as well, because I didn't think it should have been just like, you be funny, I'll be sad.
Right.
No. I wanted to both like have that sort of dynamic where it can be both at the same time.
Yeah, the versatility.
Like even when I'm like doing my like, you know, music and stuff, like the lyrics are sad and everything else, but like I really enjoy performing.
Right.
And I think that can like kind of offset, because I try to show that I'm enjoying performing. Yeah. And that can kind of offset. It's like, oh, that was a sad thing he said, but he's laughing. I was like, okay, so they get what I'm about too. It's like I'm not all like doom and gloom. It's just what I'm talking about. I'm actually quite cheerful.
Yeah, it worked out. It worked out perfectly.
Right.
It's like, oh, there's the mixture in the levels of it, and where it took people. Like you have this melodic story that's coming with the tunes and the vocals, and then you also have these words that'll put you in a place. It's like, oh, I feel things now. Like I'm more aware of culture and life now. It's like, yeah, there you go, good.
I think that what was cool about this too was that the things that we were going to perform, those were already prepared.
Right.
So, I mean, like your poetry and everything else, like you know those poems and the comedy poetry off the top of your head. I know the songs off the top of my head. It was the stuff in between it.
Yeah.
Where we like, you know, before we introduce our like next thing or whatever, that we get to like show that we're also being human beings and not just trying to like improv everything.
No, not just mash it all together.
We come in with like, you know, who we are as people, and then showing them like what we like to do best.
The vulnerable point, and then boom, here's where the vulnerability comes into art.
Here's why I'm vulnerable.
Yes. Yeah. Man, it's so good that things like that can come about, especially down here, especially when there's so much culture, and there's so much of a mix of many types of arts down here that it is. Why wouldn't people collaborate? You know, I don't think other people see that out there, to where like something good can come from a collaboration of more than one genre of performance. And I think when it does come together, it makes for a hell of a goddamn show.
Yeah.
So.
100%.
Yeah. And it's been a fun little adventure, especially learning everything and meeting the new people and shit.
Well, like so what was it like for you in LA?
It was nice. It was nice to be able to actually venture off and see like the world a bit more. Yeah. I ain't never been around mountains and shit like that before, and you know, different type of atmosphere.
They're pretty big.
Yeah. Fucking. Nigga, I ain't never been to a place where it don't rain. It's like that was wild. You know, just to be able to live out in something like that was fun. But you know, you still like. I think it's the atmosphere and the scenery can be beautiful, but the people that make that area up, it's just like, oh,
that's the most disheartening part.
Yeah, it doesn't make you want to be there.
It was the same thing with New York.
Yeah,
it's like I didn't like how this game was being run.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. Once you see like all the behind the scenes, once you get in close to it, and it's like, oh, this won't be fun. Even if I did like get things going, like this doesn't seem like the friendship from where I came from, you know. I'm not gonna find it like that out here.
No.
Like I was capable of finding friends and shit, and you know, meeting people and being able to like subside in that society out there. But it's just like, oh, ain't none of not all of y'all have the mindset that I have, and I don't think y'all are gonna get too far. Certain some of y'all are already in, and you understand that, and it's like, okay, I can see why you're here and why this gets you to this place, but I know I'm not gonna be there, and for me to get there, I'm gonna probably have to deal with some aggravating shit that I definitely don't want to deal with.
Well, it's like, why do the thing that brings you joy if you're gonna subject yourself to people that try to take the joy away from you?
Yeah.
And just like, you know, kind of like, it's almost like gaslighting us into thinking that this is what it means to be a success.
Right. I can definitely avoid all of this.
And I don't need that. It's like, yeah, I could go to Los Angeles and be disheartened by, you know, what their expectation of me as a performer could be or anything like that. And
right.
Just because they're making more money doesn't mean that they're
doesn't mean that you're happy.
You know what I mean? It's just like look at all like these people that like do find like fame, and they end up being even more fucking miserable.
Yeah,
I kind of like still being able to work for it.
Right.
And like a town like this doesn't really try to take away the joy in what I'm doing.
No,
at all. It's actually been very encouraging, and I think that. First off, there's like no deadline to success. You know, you're not really on the clock here. You can become the person that you want to be, or you can just focus on the person that you are now.
Right.
And I think that that's the more enjoyable route, because you can spend your whole life chasing somebody else's idea of a dream, and then feel fucking shitty when you realize it wasn't yours.
It wasn't yours at all.
Yeah.
It's like, why are you trying to follow this person's dream?
I wasted a lot of time. And I don't think I still feel like maybe I'm wasting time. You know, not doing more than I could be, and there's some truth in that. I should kick my ass into shape a little bit more and like get more things done and more shows and, you know, making deadlines for myself, but that's got to be all on me.
Yeah.
And I really hate like being at the mercy of like other people.
Yeah.
And having them try to measure my success by what's going to go in their wallet is kind of obnoxious to me.
I don't mind being able to set my own pace at this.
Right.
Since it's a slow and steady pace. I mean, I can kick things into high gear whenever I need to, but to not have to actually rush certain things or having to have a deadline for certain shit, it makes it a lot easier. It makes me able to think about it as I'm doing it, instead of having to be like, oh, I need to do this now. Like, I have time to actually think about it and get things done.
Exactly.
Yeah. Life lessons, goddammit.
Life lessons, man.
Motherfucking lessons. Nobody tells you how to do it, and it's just like,
you're never done learning.
Get out there and get it in.
The thing that pisses me off is that I have to learn the same lesson like 4 times.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus.
Yeah.
Just get it.
It's never easy. It always comes in a different. It always presents itself in like a different outlook. You never see it the same.
I think if it were easy, it'd be boring.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I like the challenge, even if
I don't mind having to think
even if
about
the challenge
things.
is like, do I want to get out of bed? You know, every day can be a new adventure.
I definitely don't mind having to think hard about certain shit. It makes me feel accomplished when I actually am able to solve the problem.
Right.
Like, it's like, oh, I did it. All right. Feels good. Pat on the back. God damn it.
Yeah.
Well, man, this has been a good goddamn time, Toby.
This is actually my first like podcast interview I've ever
done.
Yeah?
Oh, you did amazing, man. I
followed the script and everything.
Oh, that's good. That's it. People need to learn things on how to get there and what you got to do to get it. It ain't easy.
I wrote all of my answers before I got here.
Oh, he studied. Awesome. Yeah, man, let everybody know where they can find you at and stuff.
You can find me at Bar Redux. But online, you can find a music page called easterngray.bandcamp.com that has it features my ex-girlfriend, who's amazing on the album. And my album will be dropping in about, say, like a month.
Okay.
We'll probably have the demo done, and then we'll get back into the studio and get the full band in there, too. We got some big stuff planning for February.
Fuck yeah. All right, cool shit. One last question.
Go for it.
If you had to have any of the Jokers to personify you, which Joker would it be? And you don't have to just pick one. You can categorize.
Like the actors that play Joker?
Yeah, that or just any. Well, not just specifically the actors, just any specific Joker itself. Who it could be the actor that played the Joker, or just that particular Joker.
Probably the Heath Ledger Joker.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because, like, not that I would ever act on what he was acting on, but I kind of liked the idea of chaos at the time, too. Mm-hmm. I actually haven't seen Joker with Joaquin Phoenix yet. I have been meaning to, though. It's been on my list. I just watched Uncut Gems. That was amazing.
Oh, yeah, I need to check that out.
But yeah, I haven't seen Joker yet. That's a good question. I like the Killing Joke.
Oh yeah, with the origin, the original origin of the Joker.
Right. I think that one's probably my favorite origin thing. I kind of like the Heath Ledger one where it doesn't have an origin. It's like, here's a crazy guy.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I think that's what would be more my speed. It's like, hey, here's some crazy guy.
Yeah.
But I'm not, I'm harmless.
Fuck yeah, that works perfectly. Well,
what about you?
Shit.
What Joker would you be?
At this point in time, I'm headstrong on the Joaquin Joker.
God, I want to see it so badly.
Just for the fact that schizophrenia and a mental illness is that could be right up my alley. It's like I do feel as if I'm multiple people from time to time.
I feel you there.
So I think that one fits perfectly. But yes, this has been Tell Me a Joke, the guideline of chasing the dream, and I have been your host, the Maniacal Menace, Kyle Smith, and this has been Toby.
Thank you all very much.
Good night, everybody. Good night, good evening, good afternoon, however you feel about this.